Here's a beautiful blue jay. And you can see it's a nice blue. It's got a lot of wax on it. That's what gives hostas, certain hostas, the blue color is the wax. And you can see how the blue offsets some of these other colors. Here's some beautiful hostas. You can see it's a beautiful hosta. What's kind of cool, I don't know if you can pick it up on film, but the veins are kind of a gray, and it really gives it a neat effect. And then this is a hosta we carry called May. It's a nice thick leaf, slug resistant, and I believe it's sun resistant. And then next to St. Paul over here is another bridegroom. We talked about it before, but you can see how the tips go upward. This is a spectacular hosta from Olga. It's called Hoosier Dome, and it's named after the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. It's really cool because you can see by the leaves how they're cupped down, and then also just how huge these leaves are. This hosta back here, I believe, is Liberty. And again, it's a bright gold. It's hard to hybridize that broad gold margin, but you'll see that's a spectacular plant. This is another cool hosta called Fatal Attraction. We all know the movie. It's got kind of a shiny leaf. It's beautiful. I like the nice point on the end. There's a giant hosta named after the Komodo dragons in Indonesia. Komodo dragon. You can see it's a plain green. The leaves are kind of a heart shape, semi-deep veins, and it'll get much bigger than this. That's about a 2 or 3 year old clump. This is a hosta called Roy Clem. And this is only about a 2 to 3 year old hosta, and again, depending upon what light you put it in, will give you the look you want. This is Paradise Island, bright red petioles, chartreuse center, dark green edge, and then here is Stitch in Time, which is kind of a collector's, is in big demand by the collectors right now. Hi folks, it's June 25th. We're out in Roseville, Minnesota. The sun's coming up a little bit more than I'd like. It's about 9 o'clock, and we're just getting a little later when the colors are the best, especially for these hostas that have been in the sun a little bit. But I want to show you some more hostas. This is Golden Tiara. As you can see, it makes a great edger. I originally started one little shoot about 18 inches apart. Fills in really quick, it's low cost. It's got a beautiful blue bloom. Over here is on stage. It's a great place for it. It gets a lot of good morning sun. This is one of my favorite hostas, Ebb Tide. And it was a bright gold even 2 weeks ago. Now the color's changed a little bit, but I love the twisted leaf. Beautiful colors, the upright form, kind of vase-shaped. We were selling that last year, and frankly, we sold them a lot faster than we thought. So we took it off the internet, but we'll have more for you next year. Over here is Band of Gold, and as you can see, it's under these arborvitae trees. Just notice how much more it grows when it's getting more sun and probably further away from the trunk of the trees, where it's competing for nutrients and water and light. I forgot to mention, this is the entrance to my house. You'll notice I've got a lot of Last Dance, which is a beautiful plant. Got kind of a lighter shade of green, almost a chartreuse center, kind of shiny, and then a golden edge. And then it's, in the background is Climax, which we were giving away as our plant if you bought $100 or more. can see how all this ties nicely together and mixed in with some stone. And then, if you continue around, you can kind of see the border I put on here. That's Emerald Tira. They grow really well here. Back here is Crosa Regal. It's been a favorite for years. A friend of mine gave that to me. He's about 6'6", I'm 6'8". It was seriously about a 150-pound clump. We had to drag it, we couldn't lift it. Here's everyone's favorite Paul's Glory. It's just starting to change into a brilliant gold in the center. Again, it's getting morning sun from the side. And here is Fragrant Bouquet. And it is fragrant. Great with guacamole, Planagenia, stained glass, Planagenia Aphrodite, which I have right over here, to name a few. All the plants out of that come from Planagenia I just love, and they're fragrant. Down here's Emerald Tira. It's the exact opposite of coloring of Grand Tira, of Golden Tira. A beautiful plant. Then over here I put in some Platinum Tira, which is not as sun resistant as the other Tiras. And then of course over here we got Sum and Substance. You maybe see some Titanic back there. It's getting a little too much sun. This is Planagenia Aphrodite. That needs a lot of sun to bloom. It's the only double bloomer that I know of in the hosta family. Over here is Midwest Magic. A very rapid growing plant, seersuckered. Kind of different combinations of green. And as you can see, as you work your way up my yard, it's full of hostas. This is Surprised by Joy, a beautiful plant, kind of a small. And this is Hope, kind of a mini hosta. And then Kinboten, kind of a mini hosta. And by the way, Simba's not only a lot of fun, but he keeps the rabbits away, and I think every once in a while he catches one, but it's mainly his scent, I think. Oh boy. This is one of my favorite plants, Praying Hands. As you come up into my driveway, you see these spectacular clumps of praying hands. For those of you in Minnesota, this was discovered in Pequot Lakes by a fellow named Jerry Williams. It's quite well known in the hosta circles. Jerry stopped by our retail site last week and he gave me the story about how he found this plant. He was just going through a small nursery up in Pequot Lakes, saw this weird plant, beautiful plant, and bought it for $4. And then he started bringing it to hosta shows, and people wanted to buy it for big bucks, and now it's in the marketplace and all over the world. So when you go to your garden nurseries, keep your eye out for mutations or sports that are growing your nursery, and buy them, and who knows, you might be able to patent it, make some money, put your name on it, someone else's name on it, have a lot of fun. Next down here, oh, here comes my visitor, Simba. Hi, kitty. Come on. I forgot to show you this clump of praying hands. You can see it looks great in the container. I just picked this up at Home Depot. And I would say this clump is probably in its third, maybe its fourth year. And you can see the beautiful form of that praying hands. What's cool about it is it's got kind of a gold edge, and then it's deeply ribbed on both sides, and then it's twisted, and then there's so much stem showing, and then it's vase shaped. We've actually got our eyes on two sports that we found that we're hoping will turn into something.